Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to Cannon Fodder and Guna Matters, the Tuesday night show. Welcome to my guest. There's another one coming in. Just a bit of network problems there, but he will come in as soon as he's ready. Ange, welcome back to the show. How are
Thank
you
you.
and how have you been?
I've been pretty good. Women's football, well, that's one to discuss, but I'm not having a meltdown over it, folks. So still keeping the faith. But yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah, and I mean, the women's football is slowly but surely sort of losing its plot, isn't it?
It has been a bit of a roller coaster. We've had great highs, we've had great lows. I mean, actually, just before we go on to the last game, um, Conti Cup semi final, that was brilliant. The girls were for it. The girls achieved it. Thankfully, Villa weren't up for it. Yeah, it was all great.
Yeah,
And then, and then of course we come on to the match. And once again, when we have these certain breaks, it really. I'll tell you one thing I'm going to call out here and now, and I'm not even saying this is Jonas's fault, but because we were meant to be in Champions League and because of the injuries, we've got a very big squad now, and it's how you manage that squad, isn't it? Problem.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is a
But
problem.
surely Jonas has to take some sort of responsibility, because I mean, if you look at Beth Mead, you can argue she is not her sharpest self as to before the injury, but
Um,
surely there should be something he could sort of do, or rather try.
Actually, I'd argue on the whole, Beth Mead. I mean, the problem's been more Viv who's had the setbacks, but I'd say with Beth Mead, barring the last match with Chelsea at their ground, I would say Beth's been on very good form actually. I mean, from what. Yeah, well, I do the media, I do the Facebook. I'm on two big women's groups. I mean, there's always that debate about Russo, Stina, who's going to start. One thing I would say, oh, good evening, Larissa. Thank you. One thing I would say, I don't like to see the two of them start together as a rule.
Yeah, not
People,
either the one or the other.
yeah, personally, as best I can say tactically. Do you know what? I don't even know what went wrong technically on the last game. Sorry, Friday. Yeah, because it gets better. I was actually out Friday around a family friends for their birthday, and of course I took the Ange pad with me, and I was trying to watch the game. Yeah, I know, and trying to be social. Yeah, and I'm just going to jump into that. For the first 10 minutes, we looked pretty good, and then it all nosedived. Yeah. There's not a lot more I can say on that. And for me, particularly, once again, good old social media, it's just been a nightmare. When
Sorry.
it's the men do something terrible, and it's like, oh my goodness. Um, yeah, but sorry, yeah, I've gone right off track here. But just seeing John in the comment there, yeah, I'm going to call this out. I never ever thought we were going to win the WSL this year.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I think you mentioned that 2 weeks ago as well.
Mm.
But I mean, it's becoming a worse factor for us to obviously try and chase Chelsea and Man City, because both of them are on 40 points,
Mm.
and it's just the goal difference that sort of separates the two, and we are on 34, and we 6 points behind them now,
Yep.
and that becomes a huge mountain to climb. And John is right here. It's 3-1 to Chelsea. Terrible result. And we've blown the title now. I don't think we've blown it, because there's, I think, what, another 6 games left.
Well, there is, and something miraculous could happen, and I'd be the happiest person going, as long with every other person who supports Arsenal women. But I can't see it myself. Well, I'm going to come back to that one a little bit later on, but we have the chance to win silverware. I mean, we got a match coming up, haven't we? At Aston Villa this Sunday. Obviously, we need to win that. I know we're away, but we need to win
Yeah,
it.
we have to win that one.
Yeah, without doubt. Otherwise, things are going to start looking really bad. And yeah, to put that total energy, as I say, into the Conti Cup final.
Yeah, at least we can take our revenge on Chelsea in that match, because I mean, we've shown that we can do it, as long as we keep James out of the contention of at least getting past that middle ground circle. And of course, the captain is very much a strong prospect to obviously gear them up. And then of course, the other girl that scored, I can't pronounce her name. I mean, two lucky goals on her part, deflected goals, and but you know what? You need a bit of luck to obviously maintain a good run of form. Especially Chelsea has been scoring for fun over this last season.
Yep.
So James, Lauren James has been the menace. She's been the one to watch in the Chelsea shirt, and especially against Arsenal, because I think she wants to prove something to the English manager. Um, because I think she wants to get ahead of Beth Mead in that squad. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And of course, the other thing, every time she plays us, she was an ex-academy player. She failed. Arsenal didn't want her. And I would say that's down to attitude, not her
Yeah,
talent.
but she's got a
No.
chip on her shoulder. Huh? She's got a
Yeah, she
chip.
has actually. Yeah, do you know what? I'll call it out. I prefer her brother. And considering he's a Chelsea player as well, I
Very
actually prefer.
humble. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's very
I just
humble.
think he's got a better temperament, whatever, and does lots of good things for the community. Next, but is what it is. And yeah, as we're talking, yeah, Ajax, Chelsea 3-0 currently, and she got the opener. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
on very, very good form. Yeah.
she's on good form. I must say, she's really scoring for fun. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way. Hey, Joan, how's it?
Not great.
Oh dear. Oh
Oh
dear.
my word.
Not great.
Oh Joe.
Are you up for it, Joan? I mean,
Dropped myself from selection this week. I think that's
is it?
yeah, it's quite crappy. I just thought your friendly faces might cheer me up a bit.
Big ups to you, man, because I didn't expect you to come on, especially when you feel like this. But big ups to you.
That's because I'm a
Good,
gunner.
yeah,
We never
that's a good
surrender.
show for the other females that would love to come into the show. I mean, you are just an exceptional. But thank you a lot, Joan, for coming on. I know you're not probably gonna stay a bit long, but your take on the game on Friday night. What was your view on that?
Was that which game was that? The
The
ladies.
ladies' game. The ladies' game.
On Friday night, I was actually travelling, so I didn't get to see the game. I'd been doing theatre and education all week, and I was driving back, so I didn't actually get to watch it. I was listening as things were happening. I didn't get to watch it. I mean, obviously, not what we wanted, but there you are.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that we just spoke of, Ange, is that Larissa says hi, Larissa, but we can all agree that Lauren James has her temper needs to be controlled, and she had that thing with Wally at home and now with Mado. So, I mean, from your point of view, Joan, I mean, you know Lauren James, she's a good player, but attitude is not always the way to go, especially if you want to go under a big screen of the England ladies.
I mean, like it's the same. It's the same for every player. You to be a complete player, you've got to try and control your emotions. It is very, very difficult, but you do need to try and bring all that together to be a complete player. It's very
For
hard
sure.
sometimes with what goes on and the tensions and the emotions within
Yeah.
it. We've seen it in the men's team with rash decisions, and once there's one rash decision, you tend to get an effect of rash decisions, and then it makes it very difficult. You've set already a bar that people are going to, a line that they're going to try and get across. I used to play ladies football, and I've had more injuries from ladies football against the ladies team than when I played against the men's team.
Wow, we've got
Funny
a
story.
legend here, Ange.
Yeah, actually a funny story that the night before I was the weekend before I was getting married, I was playing in a ladies game against Barnet, and somebody went in for a slide. Well, I went in for a slide. I wasn't going to give up on the chase. Went in for a sliding tackle, and I broke my ankle.
Oh my
no.
word.
So I hobbled up the aisle in crutches. So got a few laughs about that.
Joe,
No,
Joe, don't hold it against me. I was born and bred in Barnet, and they were my local team.
It wasn't you, was it?
Sorry, my darling.
So, Ange, did you break a did you break
No,
your
I
ankle?
never played football. I was too girly.
No, sorry. I don't mess about. You see, I have a good old shriek. If I see a challenge and an opportunity, I take it. And
Yeah.
I'll go for the ball, and that's it. If the man or woman in the way, well, that's their problem. They shouldn't be in the way, should they?
That's the spirit.
But
Yeah,
you
this
can't
is
challenge, from. It so frustrates me when you've got this big gap in the field and you can see that there's room to make a challenge, but there's almost this thing in the mind of this hesitation not to make the challenge. And sometimes you got to take a risk, But as I say, rashness can then lead to a bit of dissent amongst the players, as well. So
yeah.
it's something that obviously the manager has to sit down and have a chat about, and then try and obviously improve on it for next games.
Yeah, but I think from a Chelsea perspective, I think that is what they would want her to do, because
Exactly.
the dark arts plays a very big role, especially in the London derbies,
Yeah.
or any derby for that, and obviously because I don't know if you've seen the bit of a fight between her and Katie McCabe, because Katie McCabe doesn't need much to be in a fight, you know what I mean? So I think that they use that attitude to sort of work up the ladies. And I mean, I've seen it against the Man City game as well, when they played Man City, and she that's just who she is. She's that dark arts footballer, and with an attitude, and it's not always good for the game,
No,
but
it's
if
all
it
very
brings,
using the dark arts,
yeah.
but using them how they should be, and not
Not with that force, yes.
yeah.
This is a very interesting Ange, statement that John has made here. He says, "Des, mate, I think Arsenal women should employ a female manager next. What do you think?"
Oh,
I'm
that's
up for the job. I don't know about you, Ange.
We'll do it joint, Joan. We'll do it joint.
We do it together.
Yeah, that's the one. No, that's very interesting, because yes, there should be more female managers.
Who do you
I've
think?
got a bit of a problem at the moment. I'm quite sentimental with Jonas, and we know he's got a very good connection with the women's team. But yeah, there is going to be the argument tactically. It has been quite up. Look, I'm not calling for his head yet. That's down to us.
No, that should
I'm a
not.
bit
Yeah.
too old and long tooth for all of that jazz. But yeah, back to female manager. Well, she won't be ready yet, but not that I've really read anything, because she hasn't really put it out there. But I think one of the most obvious choices at some point is going to be Kelly Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has to be. She's diehard Arsenal. She's come up through the ranks. She's now their goalkeeper.
She's a legend.
Yeah, well, yeah, she was between her and Rachel Yankee, my favourite players. But I don't, as far as I'm aware, I'm going to say she's not ready yet. But to me, somewhere along the line. But who comes in next? Don't know really. You see some names thrown in the hat, but until it's happens, I don't know. I'm not getting into that one.
No.
I don't think Jonas is going anywhere anytime soon because he has done well. I mean, not long ago, I think as recent as last year, he signed a new contract with Mikel. I think the both of them signed a contract at the same time, the extension. So I don't think he's going anytime
I've said before
soon.
that there's got to be a level of consistency even at the managerial level.
Yeah.
You can't keep chopping and changing because something's going wrong. Because I think we've also said before, whether it's the men's game or the women's game, the managers are giving them a plan to go out and play to. If players don't execute it, all the manager can do is have a rug with them. So I told you to do it. But also, I like to see players who'll have a bit of intelligence and say, look, this isn't working. We're going to change it without the governor telling us how to do it.
Yeah, of course.
You have to be able to do that and have a rug with a manager afterwards.
Well, yes, yeah.
So Emerson says that Chelsea has used the same tactics when there was at the Emirates and also Arsenal. I mean, that was also a couple of soft goals that we scored. We scored 4 past them, but it was a better performance altogether than they had on Friday night. So I get what Emerson is saying there. Now this is the thing where the consistency comes in. It has to come from the manager and the staff, the coaching staff. I mean, the players can do what they want to do, but it has to come from a point of authority and a place of consistency, whereby the manager has to institute that and say, "Girls, this is how you're going to have to do it, and this is how we're going to have to stick to it," and that shows in the games. I mean, you can't concede goals like you do now and expect to be in the title race.
No, that's right. But consistency is the key. Consistency in a team, consistency in the management team, and chopping and changing. I mean, we're seeing now, certainly on the men's team, aren't we?
Yeah, for sure.
Consistency. The same group playing. They know their jobs. They know what they're doing. They're playing for each other and not for them. Not for themselves. They're playing for each other. They're starting to know where everybody's supposed to be. But you have to listen to what the manager says. I mean, you've got to go out with a game plan, and he's going to be studying what's been going on. And if the girls don't execute it, then they have to have the same sort of, I don't like to use the word discipline, but the same sort of hairdryer treatment, I suppose.
Yeah, no, they have to get to consistency. And here's a question from, I'm not sure who's this. Is Larissa. Larissa's asked John, who would he want to see as a manager? And you obviously, you mentioned Kelly Smith. And John, is there anybody that you thought that might be a good fit for the lady?
Well, apart from myself and Ange and Seema, I mean, I know again she's
maybe Emerson.
Maybe.
No, it wouldn't be good. Trust me. No.
I think Kelly Smith would be my choice. But I just wonder what happened to Alex Scott over the years.
That is a thought I had. I mean, but I don't think she's into that. She's more into the limelight, no?
No, but again, you just don't know. I mean, she sort of jumped into the presenting, didn't she? But I think she was on my mind as a potential future manager. But
what about
KANE? But the experience with Kelly's had, I don't really think it's a question, actually.
Okay, yeah, that's a good shot. Soccergate was a dark arts that worked on us on Friday. I mean, that's a fair point, isn't it? Hashtag Soccergate. I don't know what that means really.
Oh, listen, Soccergate, and then I see Jonas wearing the same colour coat as what Emma normally wears. It was doomed. End of.
Yeah. John says you are a Arsenal and a football legend.
Oh, well, no, that's. I just love the Arsenal. That's all I do. But yeah, I'm up for the job. I'm up for the job.
Wiedema, that's a question. Have we missed Wiedema? She hasn't been herself since the same with Mead after the injury. I mean, she hasn't had a look in for most of the games. I mean, she came on a few cameos. There's one start in the cup game that she had, but yet there is no fireworks from her. What is the story? Is it the injury that kept her really sort of
I think probably it is like when there's these layoffs, and you've again, you've somebody else has come in, you've not been playing, and then you come back and the shape that you had is different. It's playing your way back into the team again, and playing your way back to confidence and your link ups with other players. Any player has to realise that there will be someone to take their place, and that when you come back, things might be different, and you're not automatically going to walk back in. But then when you do, you've got to be a bit adaptable to the changes that are going on. It's pretty much the same across the board.
Yeah, it's fair what you're saying, John, because you can see it from Wiedema, you can see it from Beth Mead, and also you can see it from the Rolls Royce in Leah Williamson. I mean, she has not been a self ever since she come back. I mean, she doesn't have that much of game that came. I mean, she's got what 3 games behind her now since she come back from injury. On Friday night, you could see no, this is not the same Leah that we know of being solid and not making that many
That
mistakes.
was a really bad injury she had.
It
ACL,
was.
yeah. I mean, well, we know back in the day that was your career over, so it's amazing. I mean, probably the one who's come back best is Beth Mead. To be fair, yeah, Viv has had her setbacks, and I actually admire how publicly she talks about those setbacks. She's very upfront, and I think all of the probably. I think all of them know. All right, well, she's vice captain, but obviously, well, Mead as well, to be fair. Yeah, of course they want their starting place, but I don't know. I just think Mead's been the luckiest one out of the lot of them to come back, and she has technically, barring Friday night, has played well, to be fair. But Leah, she certainly doesn't look her old self at present. We hope that.
It's got to be on your mind, and it's got to be
Oh
on
yeah,
your mind. Am I going to go in? Am I going to overextend
It's
and put
constantly
myself
there.
in trouble?
Yeah.
Yes, the interesting. I've missed it earlier on, and Larissa said that too many new players that need to connect together. Is that perhaps the case?
Yeah.
Because you've got Lacasse, you've got Lover, you've got Cooney Cross, you've got there's so many names. Alex,
Yeah, you got Fox.
Emma Fox is there. That other defender, Ilstad. There's so many names that you got to mention to
sorry,
say.
Glenn, we haven't got Ilstead anymore. She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. Yeah, congratulations to you.
Yeah, just got to throw that one in. That's one less.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a long way layoff for her, and I think this is probably the best time for Leah Williamson to come and make a comeback as strong as she could be. And then, of course, Emerson is suggesting to look at the Ajax and the Lyon manager if they sack Jonas. I don't think they will sack Jonas, but I mean, that is probably some prospects to look at if both of them are out of contract in summer.
Well, we'll wait and see.
And Larissa is also picking up some good points here. As Viv was the worst one of the four. She also had the meniscus, and she's kind of a bit similar to Putel as well. That name hasn't been in my mind for a long time. And I think rushed Viv into fast and the Netherlands team as well. That's a fair point. And you could see it in a run. She doesn't run as freely as she used to.
Yeah.
John says, don't sack Jonas, not good enough. Sack Jonas, not good enough. Oh, come on, John. Don't call for the guy's head now already. I mean, he's doing something good. I mean, he's done well. He's done well for the last few seasons. Miedema is not the same player before injury. Of course, she's not. And Des is talking my language. I love Cooney Cross female Odegaard. I love her too. She's doing so much good work.
I've had the privilege to watch her at the Emirates. I keep saying it. Such a cheeky little player. The runs, the moves. She's a joy to watch. She really is.
Is it the question of getting more experience in the English game? Yeah, because he's used her for the first part of the season, almost every game, and now you can hardly get her into that team.
Well, when somebody's, sort of making that sort of contribution, it's difficult to answer it. She's, as I say, I haven't seen the ladies maybe as much as Ange and Seema have had. I read things a lot, and names stick out. But it's the old thing about consistency and fitting in, and what you're going to do. You're going to concentrate on club. You're concentrating on country, not mixing the two. This is another issue. Because a lot of the girls obviously go off to play internationally.
Well, I'll tell you what. Sorry, I'll tell you what. Oh, Jan. When I was at the Man U match at the Emirates, he started off with Pelova, but she did have a slight injury, so she come off, and then he brought Cooney Cross on second half, and there wasn't really that much change in play. Basically, she took over well. So that can be a good juggling act between those two players, but he's got a lot of other players, and
that's it. It's as long as you can bring somebody on to that's the beauty of having a strong side. That if somebody does go off, you've got somebody to come on who can do the job in that position and not be without a disruption or anything like that.
Let's talk about Pelova, but Pelova in the Chelsea game, especially on Wednesday and Friday night, she tried her best, but I mean, there was so many mistakes from her, losing the ball also in the best part of our halves, and it should not happen that way. Pelova is such a good player, and I don't think she whatever. No. Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're here.
Oh, yeah. So Pelova, to me, didn't have the best game on Friday night. I mean, Joan, obviously you didn't watch it, and Ange was on a social also just squinting at the game here and there.
Yeah,
but I think Pelova had a worse game. Yeah. Joan, what position did you play? It's unbelievable, really. Women's football was banned, and our generation grew up believing women never played.
Well, John, you was at the wrong playground, mate. Okay, you was at the wrong place. I played at number 2, and then I had to change to number 6. When I broke my ankle, it was at number 2.
Oh, you're right back.
Right back, and then number 6. Yeah, it was occasionally, and I say occasionally. I was put as a 4 as well. So I was in the back line. I wouldn't let anybody get past.
So
I
you
was a
the Ben,
Vieira type person,
you were the Ben White of the ladies team that day,
Yeah, well,
inverting to the 6 from right back
yeah,
position.
and I went where the manager told me to play. To be honest, I was just happy to play.
Yeah, I get that. It's nice to play everywhere. I've played
Yeah,
all over the pitch. I've played goalkeeper. I've played centre back, right back, left back, centre mid, DM. I've played right wing, left wing striker.
yeah,
I was linesman. I was everything.
yeah.
Does anyone know where Lisa Hurtig is? Where is that person?
Lena.
Lena Hurtig, sorry.
Lena is Lena. No, we don't actually. No, we don't know where she is.
She has not been in that squad for a while, actually. There's no talks about let's see where is she.
Yeah, yeah. I've completely forgotten about her. She's not someone I rate. Sorry, I know that sounds terrible, but I don't. Sorry, that's quite harsh, but
Lena Hurtig. Lena Hurtig. Does she still play for Arsenal? Lena Hurtig, Swedish professional footballer who plays as a forward for English Women's Super League Arsenal and Sweden national team. That's still the case. I don't know what's happened there.
yeah,
Pull over for. Yeah, sorry. Go for it. Sorry,
sorry. Yeah, sorry. Larissa's saying Pelova for me was invincible against Chelsea. Fair enough.
Okay. But the eye test is always something. No. Let's go to this segment quickly before we continue in the live chat. Now there's the log for you. Let's take me out of there and put John on top. So if you look at that first two, I mean their goal difference is 2 apart.
Mm-hmm.
They've been scoring for fun. They've got the same amount of losses, the same amount of wins, and the same amount of draws. Therefore, their points is the exact same. Arsenal is 6 points behind. And then, by the looks of it, if nothing else happened, we end up third anyway, if there's no change in anything. It's just between Chelsea and Man City. Arsenal really have to win starting their next games. Joan, you said earlier on, you mentioned something about being consistent.
An assistant. What was that for?
Say again?
An assistant, did you say?
No, consistent.
Oh, consistent. I thought you said being an assistant. Sorry, I can't hear very well.
No
Well, yeah, I
problem.
mean, consistency is really very, very, like important. If you want to push your way up that table, you've got to, first of all, as a team, you've got to want it. Like for everything else, belief, wanting to do it, are very, very, very important. And not to look at that table now and almost write yourself off and be content with a third spot. You've got to keep going and you've got to keep winning those games because there are chances that people will slip up, but you
Yeah,
just keep winning your games. So if the team can have a bit of consistency in it, then there's no reason why they can't push for a higher place. Because that's what I would be. That's what I'd be telling them. If you're the ones that can make it happen, girls, you've got to get out there, do what I say, make it happen, play for that badge, push yourself up the table. That's the only way. That's the only way you can do it. And it's all about playing for the badge, no matter what team, whether it's the men's team, or the women's team. You've got to have the belief that you can do it. Because if you haven't got the
yeah,
belief and you
true.
have any fear of anything, then it won't happen. So those are bridges that have to be overcome for any team, be it Arsenal or any of them. You have to overcome those bridges, and once you can overcome that, then it's possible to get some more points on the table and make a statement, stand up for yourself.
Yeah, sorry, just an update on the Lena Tech while you were talking. There is not any clarity on it, which makes that hard to predict when she will be able to return to play. Potentially, she won't return this season, but we don't know. She picked up the injury in December while on duty with Sweden, and since then she has not been in the squad. So, well, there's a bit of clarity there. Uh,
Hmm.
Ange, you obviously not heard what Joan said. Joan had a mouthful of consistency and how the players must
Hmm.
perform, and from the manager down to staff. And do you say or say? I know what you're probably going to say, but do you think there is a chance for Arsenal to obviously pick up some points? And Joan also alluded to that anybody can drop points, and hopefully those two above us can drop points where we can maybe gain.
Well, bottom line, yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to go with the mindset that you've got to win every game. I could have taken a couple of draws more than the losses, but yeah, it's that total mindset. I think also it has been hard, and especially because what did we just come back from? We had the Gold Cup, Fox and Lucas, and when it's like these international breaks, that it does tend to affect our women. I've noticed. Yeah, that can be quite a pain actually. So if we can get some consistency now, and obviously Jonas is well, I think whoever we're playing, just put your best 11 out there because it goes to the goalkeeper as well, and that's another debate. But yeah, you just got to go for it basically because yeah, Chelsea could drop because I mean they're in everything, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you alluded to the goalkeeper. Sorry, John, before you're gonna get to your point, the goalkeeper Zinsberger also has a big drop off since the last couple of games she had. Very inconsistent, isn't it? Sorry, John. I mean, I meant to direct that to you.
Oh, sorry.
Zinsberger, our
Yeah, well,
goalkeeper.
yeah, I've something else I used to. Well, we were always told when I was playing, goalkeeper's your last line of defence, not your first,
Hmm.
and you have to make sure that you're going to give your goalkeeper as much protection as possible. There's only then so much you can do, then it's over to the goalkeeper. Um, you know, it comes down to confidence issues. We've seen it from some of the great goalkeepers, couple of
Yeah,
dodgy games. So consistency for a goalkeeper, confidence for a goalkeeper, because the buck stops with them. You know, no matter
yeah,
what's been happening up there, if it's got past your enforcers, then you know you've got a problem. So you've got to step up. So consistency and confidence and belief in your, you know, the players in front of you. It's a circle, right? Well, it's right across the board for all of them.
yeah. And I think, especially woman boy, uh, I always have a tongue twister when it comes to. She has had a very good season so far, and being in front of Zinsberger, you hardly see her making mistakes, even though she gets a yellow card here and there. But she's been very solid in the absence of Leo Williamson. Was Ruben Moy. She for me is one of the best players on the pitch every game. She's putting a shift in every game, and I think with the understanding she has with Catley on the left back, there's a very good chance that she could be one of the contenders for player of the season for Arsenal.
Yeah,
She's been very consistent, and yeah, Larissa is a sort of just updating. I only heard Hurtig has a back injury, and she was there in Portugal, but that's all I know. But she comes across if she isn't happy at Arsenal. That's probably also, just why they keep quiet on her. And then Emerson is also saying she's still currently injured. No one knows what the injury is. If that is the case, there must be something very dark happening in there, isn't it? Any last talks about the WSL before we go to the men?
No, I don't think so. Just keep pushing, keep going. Don't give up. Just keep
Well,
pushing.
what?
But
Yeah, no, you're spot on, Joan. And what I was saying to Glenn earlier, we've got a cup final on the 31st, end of month. This is our chance to win silverware. Yeah, it's against the old nemesis Chelsea, but we've done them before. We can do them again. And I'll actually call it out now. I'd rather have lost the WSL game to go on and win at Wolverhampton's Molyneux Stadium.
Yeah.
Get some
okay.
silverware. Because they're probably
So-
going to, sorry, folks, they're probably going to win the WSL anyway next.
Probably.
Sadly.
So we have to go to Aston Villa and beat them on Sunday, and then we have the final on the 31st. The
Yep.
same day we have the men's going to Etihad.
Yep, that's it.
In fact, where is the final playing of at Wembley, or where is that final playing of at?
Sorry,
later on.
do you mean the Continental Tires
Oh, it's
Cup?
the Molyneux. Yeah, you said now. You just said now.
Yeah,
Molyneux.
Molyneux, yeah.
And then we have Leicester in April, Everton April, and then the last game. No, the second last game is Man City, and Brighton is the last game. So those 6
That
games
might
we
be
have
played
to
at the
have to-
Emirates. That might be played at the Emirates. Not sure yet.
the City game.
No, the last game.
Oh, the Brighton game.
Yeah, maybe.
All right,
Did I
let's
see
go
a-
to the.
Did I see a
Sorry,
question pop up?
I
for
saw.
me?
Yeah, no. Let me just see.
It was about would I play today or something like that.
Oh, Des asked you a question earlier. Joan, maybe a silly question, but would you like to play today? Well, you probably don't mean
Absolutely.
today, but
Absolutely. One of the proudest moments of my life a couple of years ago was walking out across the Emirates down the Players' Tunnel, laying the wreath for the remembrance match.
okay.
Walking past the players. It was one of the proudest moments of, and one of the most emotional moments of my life. Walking through there, walking onto a crowded Emirates, going up to the centre circle and laying that wreath down. The emotion, the passion, and the love I felt inside of me for this fantastic Arsenal Football Club. If they'd have given me a shirt, I'd have gone on and played 90 minutes. You know?
Oh wow.
Because that's what it meant to me. You know, fans and supporters are two very, very different things. Two very, very different things. But there's nothing like it to walk out there. The noises, the sounds, the feel of the grass under your feet, and you see the goals either end. And it's a very big yes. It would be one of the biggest things of my life to go out there and play a game of football again.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's nice to have that sort of feeling when you want to play football. Well, there you have it. Des, she would love to put on a shirt and play 90 minutes, man. Joan, yes, we had the odd girl play football with us normally. They were better, but there was no girl school teams. Obviously, women always loved the game. My nan was a fanatic.
Well, you
John
can
likes
tell
to
a
talk about his nan.
little story for John that I was at school with a young lad who went on to do fairly well for Chelsea, Johnny Bumstead. And we played in the same sort of mixed five-a-side football team. And then we played against each other, and I got sent off.
Oh, you got sent off.
I got sent off. You're an unfair challenge, apparently. Nothing wrong with a challenge as far as I was concerned. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, here's a question from Des. I assume it's still the ladies. Where do you think we need to improve and strengthen?
Oh,
there's so many
But you see,
players.
this is one of those questions again. If you keep chopping and changing,
Yeah, you're right, Jeff.
you're not going to improve and strengthen. What you have to do is bring in a pool of players who can help that happen. You know, I'm going to sound like Mikel here about the process of building a team.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost building two teams. You know, your sort of regular first, but the other 11 who can come in and do the job. And that's how you build and strengthen by recruiting, you know,
Yeah,
by recruiting the players, but also giving them a chance to gel within in the team. I mean, Arsenal fans are not known for their patience, are they? With new players and things, expecting that somebody's going to come out and do the job. Sometimes it works. They do the job for a few weeks, don't score, and then you're a waste of money. So it is a process.
yeah,
You do have to obviously when things are happening. You know, you see the goal difference. There are obviously some changes that have got to be made, but maybe changes in how they are playing the game and tactically rather than personnel. You know, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Mm.
I think also from before I go to you, Ange, I think there's so many players and so many quality players in this women's squad that just need a bit of direction as to how they need to become strong in themselves.
Yeah,
Not necessarily adding, like you say, Joan, as using the players that are currently there and maybe work with them and maybe make them become better in where they're at. Ange, before we go continue, what would you say? Where should you strengthen if that was you?
Well, the obvious one, it's the goalkeeper, isn't it? There's been talk, and I saw that come, I think it was Des saying about MERPs. I don't think she's going to happen. I know. Do you know
Mary
what?
Ebbs.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I actually was one of the first to call out we were going to get Russo, Emerson, and this was when I was on Alex's show, and they all looked at me as though I was mad, but it happened on a
It
free,
happened, yeah.
and
I
it
was a
could.
fan. I was a fan of that little woman, and I thought, why can't we get her?
Yeah, and I just had a feeling. I thought we are going to get her, and we did, and a lot of that was down to Kelly Smith as well, next,
Yeah,
as well as Righty. But I don't know about Earps now. I really don't know because there's suddenly been a lot of talk of and I can't remember her name, the Dutch goalkeeper, and that could be interesting. And
sure.
listen, I'm an old girl, yeah, and I paid the price. I've been made redundant a couple of times next, but this other one, I think she's about 24. And if you really want a bit of longevity, whereas Earps is 30 now. And I know probably like male goalkeepers, they will be at their pinnacle, but I'd rather take on a younger goalkeeper, personally.
Yeah, if it is a goalkeeper, I would have also liked Mary Ebbs, but I'm looking at the Aston Villa goalkeeper. She's been very, very an elite. She's been good. I've watched her for a couple of games now, and she's very, very consistent. Even though, goalkeeper only concede goals because of the defense is not working together. But I think
Mm,
if she's in a better team, she'll do well, in my opinion. An elite from Aston Villa. She didn't do too bad against us, even though we beat them. And then of course Larissa saying that we have City away that we might can get points, and the rest we have to all take them as a cup final for sure. That
mm,
is the six
mm.
games we have to take, six cup finals. Let's continue with the men's quickly. Just a recap. We obviously recapped the Brentford game prior 2 weeks ago, and then of course the Champions League game. Emerson, no, Ange, you in fact were correct. You had it spot on. Your prediction was 1-0 and you had it spot on. Well done to you.
That was a lucky guess.
Your performance, sorry, your take on the performance, and seeing that you got the correct prediction, what would you say? Can we go with on that performance? I mean, you're always good as you're as good as your last game against the Bayern Munich.
Well, totally different club team, of course. Everybody's going to think I'm really weird. I really don't go much on Champions League football.
Okay.
Personally,
Well,
it doesn't excite me like it would being in an FA Cup final or even, Premier League, fighting for that. I think you can argue the Premier League's all about money, but yeah, I just see Champions League. There's too much money coming into it. But hey, while they're in it, I'll go for it. Yeah, I thought the Porto game was quite good, actually. I think the whole penalties thing. Yeah, I did a bit of drama, didn't it?
did bring a bit of drama. I don't think we had the best game, but I think we had a solid performance in terms of.
It was solid.
Performance. It was a completely, different way that we'd been playing, forced into forced into by the way Porto were playing, and it would have been very easy that night for a slip up.
Yeah.
We could have got caught, and a couple of times Porto did go on the break, didn't they? And I thought, hello, we might be in a bit of trouble here. But it was, like I said, you can see everybody's. No, sorry, can you mute me a minute? Everybody in that team is chasing back. Everybody's fighting for each other. They're not leaving it to one person. 2 or 3 players around the ball. They wanted it. They knew what was at stake. They knew that they wanted to progress. So it was a completely different style of performance, but it was a good performance. The penalties were a nail biter, and well done, David Raya. We can't say any fairer than that, can we? But also, I want to sound out Aaron Ramsdale for the way he rushed on and the way he was with David Raya.
That was a good celebration on his part. Yeah.
I love Ramsdale. I love his character. Sorry, I do.
Great character. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Raya did all right. He can save a penalty, and I do hold that in pretty high regard. Yeah.
I think the performance was a solid performance, and I think being Porto is a very closed team. In other words, of how they play, they don't give you much opportunity to break them. Whereas Bayern Munich is a very much an open team. They're an attacking team. They don't close. Therefore, they concede a lot of goals in their league. And I think it's a total, like you say, it's a total different team. Yeah. But I think from a performance perspective, I had a man of the match in 2 players for that game. But first, if I can, Angie, obviously say you don't give much into the Champions League, but surely if you watch the game, you might have had a man of the match in that game, isn't it?
Well, the obvious and he got it was Raya, which I can understand why. Well, somebody else I'm a huge fan of. I would have given it to Odegaard.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
He is my captain. He really is. No disrespect to Declan Rice, who I feel like has been with us forever. But every time I hear nonsense, sorry, that's how I feel. Oh, he should become captain. No, that ain't happening. Sorry.
I agree. I mean, that pass that Martin Odegaard made to Leandro Trossard was on another level, wasn't it?
That was totally a different level.
But you could see, though, that thought process coming in of Leandro Trossard knowing where that ball was going and running onto it. So
they are in sync.
The connections are starting to
they're mentally in sync, and what a game he had, and even he got a bit of a a kick, and giving that pass while he goes down was so perfect. And behind Pepe, the strong guy. In fact, behind Pepe, behind the right back, and kicked the ball through Pepe's legs and in the far corner. What a play from the two of them. I think both of them had good games. I think Odegaard probably had a more stronger game because he was the talisman in it. But I think that goal doesn't happen if Leandro Trossard has the intelligence of the captain. That is a good partnership there. And I think people say we missed Martinelli in that game because of his space. I don't think we've missed Martinelli in that game, don't you think?
No, we didn't. But that's a good thing because we know that he can come back on, and that that this is what I'm saying, that you've got somebody. We've not been in a position that we are now to be able to have somebody go off, and then when somebody like the quality of Martinelli to come on, we've not had those options for some time.
Yeah.
So and I tell you what, I was quite impressed with Kivior as well.
Oh yeah, he's doing really well.
Kivior, I don't think you should change anything in that backline currently. You must let Zinni come in and off the bench, but Kivior has to start every game until the end of the season. There's no doubt until he really messes up. But I don't think he should change that back four at any time now. That is our strongest back four currently, defending back four, because Zinchenko is not a defender in my opinion. He does not defend.
He's a midfielder. I know that.
So yeah, those two were my man of the match. And then of course, what do you think about the Champions League draw?
Well, I knew it was going to be bloody Munich. It was going to be.
Sorry.
It was going to be Munich or Barcelona. I mean, it was going to be one of those two. But again, it's up here. Have no fear. We're the Arsenal. Beat anybody. Go out there and have a go. You got this far. You can go further.
That's the well.
Yeah, what I must say is when Odegaard get asked, the question is as who would you prefer to have in the quarterfinals? His answer was, it doesn't matter to me now because anybody is there, So bring it on. I'm basically saying, bring it on. It doesn't matter who we're gonna play. We're gonna have to play anybody. And who better yet to play is Bayern Munich because Bayern Munich has taken us out every time.
Yeah, that's right. They're a different Bayern Munich now as well. So
we have to take them out. We have to overcome that barrier again. I mean, there was a City barrier, there was a Liverpool barrier, there was a Brentford barrier. So we have to overcome those things. And I think for the last 2 seasons, those were the things we had to do. And why not doing it with Bayern Munich?
Oh, of course we can be all right. We'll be all right.
We'll be fine. Don't worry. Harry Kane will mess it up. Curse of the Kane next.
Yeah.
So, you have to mention Harry Kane.
Well, he's gonna. Well, unless he gets injured, but he's going to turn up.
He'll always make a miraculous recovery. They always do.
He is currently injured.
So he'll make a miraculous recovery.
He always does. Always does.
Yeah.
Probably. So between the two of these players, obviously we know Kane is a legend in English football. He scores goals for fun. I mean, he's scoring goals now in the Bundesliga, and the top goal scorer gets a cannon for the trophy. How ironic. He gets a cannon and exactly the same emblem as what we have on our as the Gunners emblem, and he gets the cannon as a top goal scorer in the Bundesliga as a Tottenham player. How ironic is that?
Yeah.
But between the two of them, I mean, you can't compare. But currently, you have to say, you have to talk about Kai Havertz in the same conversation with his form currently, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, you have to look at what Kai Havertz does off the ball as well. You know, he's a little bit of a dark arts master as well.
Yeah.
But you have to see what he does off the ball, and he's obviously cracking a few goals in now. My only concern with Kai Havertz is his temperament sometimes.
You get the odd yellow card, an unnecessary yellow card.
Yeah, but there you are. But you know, he could do it. He could do a job. He's finding his feet now. He's creeping up in places, and while people are looking where he's going, somebody else is getting into the box. You know, it's all fitting into place.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you have to give him credit because he's really come under a lot of criticism, and big ups to the manager that kept with him, and obviously the players that came around him, and they all believed that he can, and he showed himself that he can, and he believed in himself. And he's been a menace in many of the games. He's not where he should be,
But that's
but
it.
so
When you
go for it.
can float around, that's disruptive for teams because they don't know where you're going to crop up next. You know, so
Yeah, yeah. And your take on Kai Havertz? I mean, I've never heard what is your real take on Kai Havertz. I've never had a show where we spoke about Kai Havertz with you around.
Well, what did I know about him? Yeah, he played for Chelsea. He didn't do very well there. He's got a donkey sanctuary, I found out. Got a lovely lady, nice family. Oh, he loves his dogs. They all seem to be strange. Has he got 2 or 3 dogs? Because I noticed that on Instagram. And some of them wearing the old Arsenal shirts. So has he been collecting them over the years? In the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I totally digress. Once again, I'm not somebody to have meltdowns. I don't like slating off players when they've just joined us because things do take time. Like I said, he seems a really nice chap, and I'm pleased for him that it's happening now. He's kind of very understated, isn't he? He's not one of your more exciting players by anybody's
right, yeah,
standards, to be fair. But that doesn't matter. As long as he's doing his job and getting a few goals, and that's brilliant, isn't it?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
That is all that's required of a
yeah,
player, is just to do what
yeah.
is expected of you, isn't it?
And you can see
So
the little connection when Jorginho is on the pitch with him because he's looking for him.
Mm.
yeah, you can still see that
You can
connection.
still
You're
see
right.
that sort of Chelsea connection now. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything bad in that either. But
No, not
it's
at all.
helped him a bit. It's helped him quite a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, no, really big ups to the manager that really stuck with him. And I mean, a
Yeah,
lot of people, and I said it in the previous show, is that a lot of people thought he's the replacement for Granit Xhaka. I don't think he's a replacement for Granit
no,
Xhaka.
no.
A lot of people thought that he can't score the goals that Granit Xhaka scored last season. Well, he's surpassed that now. He's on 10 goal contributions. You still need a couple of more assists. But I think he's come to his own. And like you say, Joan, it depends on what the player brings to the team other than scoring goals. And
Yeah,
he's bringing quite a bit. I mean, I was
yeah,
one of his biggest critics as an Arsenal fan, and I had to change my mind about who's wearing the shirt and supporting the person who wears the shirt. You have to do that. I mean, you can't just not accept the players that the club is brought in. So Harry Kane, do you think he's going to score against Arsenal, seeing that there's going to be no Bayern Munich fans on the
Oh,
Emirates?
he always scores at the bloody Emirates, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He
So
does, eh?
it's up to our defenders to keep him out. Simple as.
I
I
think
mean,
he might sneak one in.
Yeah.
He
But you
will.
know, Bayern, there's also a player called Thomas Müller that's a bit handy as well. So you can't just
yeah,
think that
he's quite an old hag, but I think he can still play a game of
an old
football.
hag, did you say? Or an old hag?
Sorry, hag. Yeah, he's an old player, but he can score a goal. He still
Yeah.
have it. Emerson is saying Müller of Bayern Munich, he started 9 games with HAVERTZ, but I am sure you will be okay, and you just need to be in the right place of time. I think being German and coming from the Bundesliga, having the rivalry of the Bayern Munich and the Bayer Leverkusen, I'm sure that should play a big role in his mind as HAVERTZ, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, the home leg should be the leg where we kill it off, and going to the Alliance Stadium, we have to just get a draw there. That's all we have to do is get a draw there. But kill it. You have to kill it
as we can at the Emirates, though. We've really got to have a go.
You have to kill it off in aggregate.
Yeah.
You have to kill it off at the Emirates, because I mean, firstly, they're not going to have one fan in that stadium, because the fans are banned apparently. So
you know what that means, don't you? That means that Footlong Frankfurters aren't going to be there then that week. No German sausages on sale for the game.
So we should take advantage of the first leg, because we are at home on the first leg. So we have to take advantage, and we're going to have to call on all the players for that game to step up and get it over the line and go to the next leg and just get a draw, a very low score draw, and see yourself over the line, because I mean, going to Germany is going to be a tough one for us.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't be though. It's a different mindset now, a different group of players. So they have to believe. Like I've said before, you've got to believe you can do it. If you don't turn up. Let somebody play who does believe.
Yeah. Kai always had the pedigree. He just needed love. Chelski ruined him. I always say Chelski is the killer of any player. I mean, look what they did with this youngster Mudryk. They killed him. They killed him completely.
And Werner, Timo Werner.
Timo Werner, yeah. Here's a question for myself and Joan. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this one right. Who was the last 2 goalkeepers that kept a clean sheet against Bayern Munich? I would say what's his face? Ponytail. David Seaman.
Yeah, I'd have said Seaman for one.
And maybe Lehmann.
Not Lehmann. What is that face? That Colombian goalkeeper.
Ospina.
Ospina. I'm not sure if I'm correct there, Mr. Emerson.
But we don't get many clean sheets out there.
No, we don't. I mean, they've beat us 5-2 or 10-2 or something to that effect.
I was there. Don't tell me about it.
No, you were there.
Yes, I was there. I used to live in Munich, actually. I used to live in Bavaria, so I know what they're like over there. But no, you just gotta go out and have a go. Don't be afraid to get stuck in, have a go, and feel like I did walking out and laying on that wreath that I'm going to join this moment. I'm going to give my best for the fans here today at the Emirates.
Yeah. So I think we just have to get it over the line, and that is as best we can, and continue with our game. We don't have to show nothing. Oh, Peter, check.
Yeah, I said check.
You said check. Yeah, you said check.
That was a lucky guess.
Peter Cech and Fabianski. Okay.
Fabianski, bloody hell.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think, ladies, we've come to an end. I don't know what happened to what's the name? Emerson. I think Emerson. I took off the link, obviously. It's the Tuesday night show. Thanks a lot, ladies, for being a part. Joan, big ups to you again for being here, even though you're not well. And
I have no voice
tomorrow. Yeah, you're a trooper. Fantastic.
It's what it means to be a gooner. It needs to be good and keep going.
True. Any last words from you guys?
Top of the league. We're doing well. Keep going. And don't give up hope, Gooners.
Yeah. Look, we're gonna still have a show that week before Easter. We're gonna have a show. It's gonna probably be a very short show. And then we're playing that Sunday, both games, the City game and the ladies game. And then the week thereafter is the Champions League, I think. So we can maybe squeeze in everything in there in terms of predictions. Talking about predictions, what is your prediction this weekend against Villa, Ange, for the ladies?
Yeah, I know. I think the girls will be back on much better form. I think Villa will have learnt something from us. And the one I always fear most, I like her and I don't like her, is Daly. But
Of
she's,
course.
yeah,
And I don't
yeah.
like that. Well, maybe don't like is not the word, but I don't particularly like the way she plays is Lehman
Oh,
from
God,
Villa.
don't start me off on her. That,
Yeah.
no. Sorry, no. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I think well, obviously they're at home, they'll be more up for it, but I think our ladies would have got their act together and just. I don't think it could necessarily be it won't be anything massive, but just a decent win.
Okay.
Decent win.
And
Yeah,
you, Joan?
they know they need to win. And obviously they probably want to look at the amount of goals they're scoring and try and get a few more on the board. But getting the points is what matters.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We're not going to match the goal
yeah,
difference with the other two, but you're right. Yeah, get the
yeah,
points, get the win, and
yeah.
of course, yeah. Sorry, just seeing what Larissa said. Yeah, Jordan Nobbs. Well, sometimes she's good. Sometimes I don't particularly fear Jordan Nobbs personally. No disrespect to her. I know she was our player for years. But,
Yeah, I think she's dropped off a bit
mm,
since the latter days of Arsenal and even taken that
mm.
to Villa as well. Sorry, your prediction is not no, yeah, just to win.
Emerson's gone from 3-1.
I'll go
Yeah,
2-0
but this is for
Arsenal.
two.
I'm going to go 2-0
4-2
Arsenal.
to us. Oh, I don't really want to concede more than one goal. I think we will concede a goal. And I'm not even going to go there with this one. Let's just guess who will be in goal next. And I don't want to put hate on Manu. I really don't, because she's such a brilliant character. I'm sure she'll
Yeah,
get.
she is.
And it is about the defence. Joan is so right. You know, the defence has to do their job. End of. I don't know. I think I'll go with the 2-1 personally, but I don't usually
Yeah,
do.
I thought 2-1 would be also a very good away win. But yeah, well, let's hope and see that they can get over the line. But yeah, thanks a lot, Ange. Thanks a lot, Joan. And Joan, there is a message for you. You must take a toddy.
A hot toddy.
Where's that?
Hot toddy, yep.
A hot toddy and a lot of whiskey. I think that
Yep.
it was said.
Yeah.
I took a double brandy last week for my bronchitis. Yeah.
It's going to my
brandy.
throat now, as you can hear. It's blasted nuisance, yeah. But oh, blimey, but it won't stop me. I'll keep going, keep soldiering on.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, and maybe a lot of stony for just to burn that stuff away. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've got the old and you'll know what it is, the old Vicks rub. So I've got some of that to rub on and inhale as well. It's
But
triple. I've got sort of bronchitis. I've got sinus and the bad throat's like a.
Yeah. Get well soon, Joan. Get well soon. Also got a message from Seema. Seema was supposed to join us tonight, but she also got ill. She's out in Nairobi, and I hope if she hears us, watch us, I hope she gets well soon as well.
Yeah, get well.
And whoever is sick out there, just get well, get warm, just be blessed, be healthy. And all the best to you guys.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody in the comments. Thanks for being there. And tonight was actually a very good show, a full house. And thanks a lot for you ladies for your time.
Thank you.
This has been Canon Fodder and Guna Matters.
Oh,
Simulcast.
Tyrannosaurus. Oh, you're
Yeah.
oh.
Thank you to you, Mr. Ganosaurus.
Yes.
Nice to see you. Yeah. Cheers, everybody.